So I'm pretty productive, but it seems that all my son wants to do is play video games all day. So this video is about my journey as a parent, helping him to get more control in his life using productivity, science, and without going all Sergeant General Hartman on his ass.
Now let me see your war face! Ah! Bullshit!
Now, if you're a parent or under 25, then stick around because there's a few things that you might find interesting about productivity while growing up. Now, I always thought that parenting was just about giving your kids the tools they needed to succeed and then letting them figure out their own way. Unfortunately, science is proving me wrong and I need to adjust way into the game because I should have figured this thing out like 5 years ago. And that is that if you ever read anything about productivity or thinking, then you know things like fast and slow thinking or the lizard brain. And the lizard brain really likes being in a comfort zone. Gaming is the ultimate comfort zone, and given the chance, people will stick to that comfort zone and not go into like a more complex zone where learning happens. And that was my mistake. I was giving my son the tools, but I wasn't helping him get outside that comfort zone and into a more learning and experiencing mindset. Now, one of the tricks with the whole comfort zone thing is that getting outside this comfort zone is something that's done by your prefrontal cortex, which is for some reason the last part of your brain that's in line for the adulting phase, meaning that it's not fully done till you're in your mid-20s. Now, why is that important? That means that when you're young, you do learn that you need to do things to improve your life, but it's super hard to gear your mind out of that lizard mindset and actually get something done. So telling my son what to do wasn't really helping him out because while he did know what he needed to do to improve things, he wasn't capable of forcing himself to stop gaming and start doing things. And that's where I come in. Now, if you like this walking around type videos, then let me know in the comments down below because they're a lot more work to make, but they're also tremendously fun. Right, back in the studio because my neighbors were starting to give me funny looks and it's much easier to finish it off here. So I tried a lot of things to get my son motivated. Things from praise to money to gifts, but also tool sets like gamification in the form of Habatica, Todoist, helping him with project planning, but nothing really helped him get going. And that was because I was missing part of the equation. It's not enough to set goals and put a reward at the end. The journey, like getting going, was what he was struggling with, and I didn't realize how to help him with that. Man, it's getting summer, so I'm gonna get rid of my sweater because Jesus. So I started by giving him structure, and to make it simple for me as a parent, I basically mimicked it to my structure and gave like fixed moments in the day, meaning that he got up at my time, which isn't 6 in the morning because that'd be cruel, but I wake him up at 8 on work days and 9 in weekends. And then we have like coffee and breakfast together, followed by lunch at 12 and dinner at 6, and it's at the same time every day. Now that we had some structure, I helped him visualize what he wanted to get done, and for that I set up a simple Kanban board system with a to-do, doing, done column on it, and we also split it up into sections, so after breakfast, after lunch, and after dinner. And by having a small daily stand-up, meaning we stand in front of the board for 5 minutes and I ask him some questions on what he wants to reach throughout the day, we make a small plan where he knows what he needs to do, but he can decide when to do it. Right, so now he knows what to do and when to do it, and then comes the trick that I was missing, and that's holding him accountable. Now, I don't mean that I scold him or tell him that it's bad when he fails something. What I mean is that 3 times a day, I check in and ask him how his plans are going, because that's what it is. It's his plans, and he needs to figure out what he wants to get done and where he wants to reach. And I also help him out by making sure that it's small and actionable so he can actually get it done today. And we reflect. So when we look back and the stuff didn't work out, which happens, I talk about like, why didn't you make it? Was it busy? Did you have an off day? An off day is fine because anybody can have an off day, but what can you do to change that over time? And the goal here is to build a habit. I want him to have a habit the rest of his life, that if he wants to reach something, that he knows that he can break it down and just do a little each day and grow over time, instead of looking at these huge targets that are insurmountable and that he just, well, doesn't get started, which was the problem he was dealing with before. Now, to help him get where he wants to go, I'm helping him make plans. So we're talking together and seeing where he wants to go in time, and then I help him break it down into smaller bits that he can actually get done every day. So for example, he wants to improve his drawing skills, so we put up a card that says draw for 50 minutes every day. Now, I'm personally planning that once he gets into the habit of drawing every day, he probably wants to see more improvement than he's reaching by teaching himself. And then we might talk about upgrading that by taking a course and doing step for step and learning that. And that way I hope to show him that if you want to reach a goal, you need to not only put some effort in, but you also need to find out what the quickest route is there and follow that road. Great tip that I have when working with him is that we're trying to run experiments. So what that means is that instead of picking something and saying this is how my life is going to be, you say like, I'm gonna try this for 30 days. Or if you think that even that's too big, you can try it for 7 days. And if you don't like it, you just drop it in the end. And if you don't drop it, then you can say like, okay, I want to expand on this experiment and I think it's interesting. And that teaches him that nothing that you do is set in stone. You can always adjust left or right as you progress through life. Now you might be thinking, you got tools on tech, so where's the tools and where's the tech? And yeah, I tried that. So I tried setting up a Notion page, I tried setting up a Todoist. And what I noticed is that using those tools requires that you're motivated to also put stuff into the tools before you get anything out. And he's just not ready for that. Like, he was missing the structure, so we're working on that first. And then I think Notion is something that comes into play as soon as he starts getting into a phase of life where there's more heading his way than he can handle. At this age, life is pretty simple. There's just English on Tuesday and drawing every day. And that's two things. You can keep that track in your head. That will change quickly enough as he gets older. Thanks for watching. Be sure to check out my Twitter feed or mailing list if you want a more direct feed into my brain. And remember, you're awesome. Keep it up. Prefrontal cortex. Why do they have to make these names so hard? So this is like a quick shout out to my son who has been helping me with this video today.